Aces star A'ja Wilson's WNBA dominance sparks crazy Dawn Staley take. The Las Vegas Aces may have suffered a 93-85 loss to the Chicago Sky on Tuesday night, but let that not distract anyone from the continued greatness of A'ja Wilson. Wilson, in a losing effort, put up 28 points and 14 rebounds as she continues the hot streak that has been bolstering her claim as not just the best player in the league at the moment, but also one of the greatest women to ever grace the hardwood. Wilson has had a pedigree of greatness since her days as a collegiate player for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Everywhere she's been, Wilson has had success, which makes her stellar performances night in and night out the norm, not the outlier. But for South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley, who has experienced witnessing Wilson up close and personal, the improvements the Aces star has been showing is eye-opening, to the point where she deserves all the individual accolades in the world. I know y'all will say I'm crazy and biased for both. Maybe let underscore A'ja Wilson 22 is your WNBA most valuable player, defensive player of the year, and most improved, Staley wrote on her official Twitter X account. For someone as great as A'ja Wilson already is, it's not very apparent how improved she is from a year-to-year standpoint. After all, her baseline level of play is already so high that it's easy to miss all the improvements she has made to her game. But for Dawn Staley, she sees how different of a player Wilson is now compared to her days in South Carolina. So it's not too hard to see where she's coming from, even though Wilson is not likely to win Most Improved Player. At the very least, Staley acknowledged that she's biased. She is due to her experience working with Wilson, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that she has a different perspective on the trajectory of the Aces star's career. And when Staley speaks about her former collegiate player, people better listen. Caitlin Clark may be the most head-turning talent the WNBA has ever seen, with Clark drawing fans to the sport like no other. But amid all the Clark hype, A'ja Wilson is doing superstar things on a nightly basis that people who are following the league must take notice of. Wilson is perhaps the best two-way talent the league has ever seen. She cleans up on the glass and she is as fierce and intimidating of a presence at the paint as they come. She is averaging 15.2 rebounds over her past 6 games to go along with an elite 4.0 blocks and 1.7 steals per game during that span. And those numbers have come with a stellar average of 29.3 points per game, which has only served to increase her lead in that department. A'ja Wilson is well on her way to a third WNBA MVP honor, and her eye-popping defensive numbers and impact on a nightly basis has her on track to win her third consecutive Defensive Player of the Year. Wilson would only be the third player in WNBA history to win 3 MVPs, and she'll be the first to win 3 straight DPOYs should she manage to stay on track. Should the Aces get their act together and rally for a third straight championship, they'll only be the second team in WNBA history to go 3 in a row after the Houston Comets won 4 straight from 1997 to 2000. The key for the Aces moving forward is to get their trio of quality guards, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, humming on a more consistent basis so that the burden isn't entirely on Wilson to lift the team. Later this month, A'ja Wilson will head to Paris to represent Team USA in their bid for a historic 8th consecutive gold medal in 5x5 women's basketball. Wilson is one of 4 aces who will be representing the national team, with Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray joining the favorite to bag home the 2024 WNBA MVP award. Wilson's presence should be enough to be guaranteed that Team USA will indeed be standing tall among its peers in the international stage of women's basketball. There simply isn't anyone who is strong or fast enough to deal with Wilson, especially when she'll have very talented players such as Brianna Stewart and Brittany Griner, to name a few, partnering with her in the front court. In what is shaping up to be a banner year for Wilson, can she make history by winning the WNBA MVP, WNBA DPOY, WNBA Championship, WNBA Finals MVP, and Olympic gold medal in the same year?